Alien children played ball while she could only watch, until a human gave her a prosthetic leg. The twin sons of Loryma cast their warm, golden light across the dusty courtyard of the village. The air was filled with the sound of laughter, bright, melodic, and free. Alien children, their turquoise skin shimmering under the suns, chased after a hovering red ball that zipped and darted like a playful insect. From the edge of the courtyard, sitting on an old wooden bench, Nivara watched. She was 17 rotations old, her dark violet hair braided neatly, her eyes reflecting the same longing she had felt every day for years. She wanted to run with them. She wanted to chase that ball. But her right leg ended just above the knee, wrapped in worn linen, and the crude walking stick by her side was no replacement for what she had lost. The injury had happened when she was 12, a mining transport malfunction, collapsing part of the quarry. The medics had saved her life, but her leg had been beyond repair. On Loryma, prosthetics were rare and expensive, reserved for warriors and high-ranking officials. For a girl whose parents were simple water farmers, it was an impossible dream. She shifted her stick, biting her lip as one of the younger boys shouted, "Come play, Nivara." Her heart twisted. She forced a smile and shook her head. Maybe next time. They didn't mean to be cruel, but each invitation was a reminder of what she could not do. So she sat, watching the ball dart back and forth, until the sun sank low and shadows stretched long across the dusty square. Chapter 1. The Stranger. The first time she saw him, he was leaning against the side of the water trader's cart, sipping from a metal canteen. His clothes were strange, heavier than the loose, airy garments of the Lorymans, and his skin was pale, marked with faint freckles. A human. Humans rarely came to her village. Loryma was far from the main trading routes, and the few outsiders who did come never stayed long. Nivara tried not to stare, but he noticed her anyway. His gaze flicked to her walking stick, then back to her eyes, and something softened in his expression. He didn't look away quickly, as others did when they saw her disability. Later that evening, as she limped toward the well to fill her water jug, she found him there, crouched beside the stone rim, inspecting the pulley system. "Hello," he said in accented Loryman. "You live here?" She hesitated. "Yes." He smiled. "Name's Callan. I'm passing through." She nodded, unsure how to respond. Outsiders were polite, sometimes curious, but they never lingered. She started to turn away when he asked, "What happened to your leg?" Her stomach clenched. "An accident." He didn't apologize or change the subject. Instead, he studied her with a thoughtful look. "Ever thought about getting a prosthetic?" The question made her laugh, bitter and short. "They cost more than my family will own in a lifetime." He didn't laugh with her. He just nodded, as if filing the information away. Chapter 2. The Offer. The next morning, Callan found her again, this time in the courtyard while the children played. He stood beside her bench for a moment before speaking. "I build things," he said. "Machines, tools, limbs." Her heart skipped. "You mean prosthetics?" "Yes, I've made them before. For soldiers, miners, even a child once. I could make one for you." She stared at him, her mind spinning. "You can't be serious. You don't even know me." "I don't have to. I see someone who's been left behind, and I know I can help." Her instinct was to refuse. Kindness from strangers always came with strings. But there was no greed in his eyes, no pity either, just a steady confidence. "What would it cost?" she asked cautiously. "Nothing," he said. "Just time. And your trust." She swallowed. Trust was a fragile thing for her. Still, something in his tone made her want to believe. Chapter 3. The Work Begins. Callan set up a small workshop in the abandoned storage hut at the edge of the village. Nivara visited each day, watching as he unpacked strange tools and shining parts she had never seen before. First came the measurements. He was meticulous, noting the exact length of her remaining limb, the angle of her hip, even the way she shifted her weight when standing. "This isn't just about replacing a leg," he explained. "It's about making it yours. You should be able to run, jump, dance, not just walk." She wanted to believe him, but fear lingered. What if she couldn't adapt? What if the children still saw her as broken? Days turned into a week. Callan worked tirelessly, shaping metal and polymer into a curved frame, attaching joints that mimicked the bend of a knee. He even polished the surface until it gleamed like moonlight. "You're not making a tool," she said one afternoon, watching him work. "You're making art." He smiled without looking up. "It's only art if it changes something." Chapter 4. The First Step. The morning of the fitting, her hands trembled as Callan secured a prosthetic around her thigh. "Stand slowly," he instructed. She pushed herself upright, feeling the weight of the new leg. It was strange, like wearing a heavy boot. But when she shifted her weight, it held. "Now try a step." She moved cautiously, expecting to wobble. But the joint bent smoothly, the foot touching the ground like it belonged there. A laugh burst from her lips, surprised, unplanned. Callan's grin was wide. "Told you." They spent hours practicing, moving from walking to short bursts of jogging. By sunset, she could take a dozen steps without the stick. When she returned home that night, her mother's eyes filled with tears. "Nivara, you're walking." She didn't just walk. She stood taller than she had in years. Chapter 5. The Bowl Game. Word spread quickly. By the third day, the children were calling her to join their games. At first, she hesitated, afraid of falling in front of them. But Callan stood at the edge of the courtyard, giving her a small nod. She stepped into the dusty square. The red bull zipped toward her, and instinct took over. She swung her leg, felt the solid connection, and sent it soaring. The children erupted in cheers. She ran after the bull, the prosthetic moving in rhythm with her body. For the first time since the accident, she felt the wind in her hair as her feet pounded the ground. Laughter spilled from her lips, raw and free. She wasn't the girl who sat on the bench in the mall. She was part of the game. Chapter 6. The Debt of the Heart. That night, she found Callan at the well again. "You've given me more than a leg," she said quietly. "You've given me back me." He looked away, almost embarrassed. "I didn't do it for thanks." "Then why?" He hesitated, then said, "Where I'm from, I lost someone. A girl, about your age. I couldn't save her. When I saw you, I thought maybe I could make a different ending this time." Her chest tightened. She placed a hand on his arm. "You did." Chapter 7. The Departure. Callan stayed another week, fine-tuning the prosthetic and teaching her exercises to strengthen her muscles. But the day came when he packed his tools. "You're leaving," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "I have to. There are other places, other people who need help."